Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Now, joining us on part two of the program is Alabi Bankole Michael. He's an auto electrical engineer, educator, and passionate advocate for technical skills development in Africa. His workforce focuses rather on bridging the gap between classroom learning and real-world applications through practical training, mentorship, and industry engagement. He has trained and supported numerous young technicians, helping them to gain competence and confidence needed to thrive in the automotive technology and other technical fields with a strong commitment to youth empowerment and skill-based education. He is recognized as one of the leading voices pushing for a more technically skilled African workforce. Alabi Bankole Michael, you are welcome to Just Africa. Many thanks for joining us on the program today. Are you there? Could you please unmute yourself? Okay, whilst we look forward to Alabi for joining us as we continue, and this conversation, conversation will be going toward technical education, because we are looking at human capital development spanning all fields, from manufacturing to the digital landscape and manufacturing. Alabi Michael, welcome back to the program. Are you there? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I'm there. I can hear you clearly. Thank you very much.
Yes, many thanks for joining us on the program in Just Africa. Now, what do you think young Africans, should look at? But before we look at what young Africans should look at, we're talking about technical skills and capacity development, human capital development. So let's look at the technical education in Nigeria. Do you think they are living up to their responsibility, or the vacuum that we say currently exists is not a fiction, it's a reality?
Thank you very much, sir. As you have rightly said, I'm an auto electrical engineer, so I've been on this field for a very long time now, and I have experience of more than 10 years. My discovery so far on this field is that I discovered that the Nigerian of today, or the African as whole, so they were not really doing what other developed countries is really doing, because the issue of technical skills has been underestimated. People were not really, especially the young one, were not really allowed. I mean, they were not given a platform to actually carry out their skills, which is a key factor to any developing country. For any country to actually achieve its aim, technical skills must be encouraged, must be a heartbeat of a nation, where every young people need to come together, put one or things together, believing in what they can do with their hands, with their experience, their expertise, with everything that they have accumulated from a four-wall corner of a school. I think that if the country can do better, I think more young will be so interested, in putting their skill to work, and that will actually prevent a young one seeking for a white collar job. Once they are able to do something on their own, they will be the one employing people into their own so-called created company. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I like what you just said. However, before the advent of digital skills these days, before the advent of digital skills, in those days where intro tech is being taught in school and all of that, there seemed to be lots of people don't think that these technical skills, it was categorized or classified as if those who are gunning for them are the people who are less educated. They were downplayed. The significance of it was quite downplayed. And that perspective is still, is holding sway till now. How can we defeat this imagination so that we can encourage more young people to go there, even if it's not tech, into furniture making and other aspects of the digital space, of the technical space? Are you there? Okay, so hopefully it's going to join. Okay, could you please unmute yourself?
Okay, I'm here. Please, can I be here?
Yes, I can hear you. Please be here.
Okay. I said, if I should cast my mind back to the olden days, like when we were growing up, even in secondary school days, there is a course called Introductory Technology,
Yes.
where we are being introduced how to make all these small things like mats, like baskets, where they use in markets and all those thoughts, the little idea of tailoring. I think then the educational sector was actually trying then. I think they can do more, honestly, because all these skills has a very large percentage of who we are as as a nation. Because looking at it now, so we learn the theory parts in the school when we're in school, but when it comes to the practical aspects, there is a deficiency, there is a large vacuum, and I think the problem is that people have not really been exposed to this thing from their cradle, from their young age, where they need to familiarize themselves with what they can do. I think if that kind of a topic course can be done, we can have it more than once, like where people can actually be taken out, how to learn something like tailoring, like you have said, building, carpentry and all that. If you look at other countries, for example, I don't know, majority of those things that were being used there is being mailed by the citizens. So I think that if you look at some extent that
Oh, the network.
Network.
Yes, network has interrupted again. So,
I wanted us to even try and address the issue of shortages in technical skill. Where the real roots behind it? Is it from education, policy, culture, or industry demand? Because for us to be able to tackle this, we need to identify the real roots. What led to the shortage of these? And it's quite concerning that we have so many colleges of tech. We have polytechnics. We have, in every state, we have about one or two of them. So I begin to wonder, when these students, when they complete their HNDs, and what happens? Most of them go on to get university degrees because, first of all, when you have a HND or higher diploma or whatnot, it seems as if there's a particular sector that you are being pushed to. I think the tellers and the banking industries, that's where most of them end up and all, and they end up doing some other, menial jobs. So what happens? Is it that the society does not acknowledge their educational background, their degrees, their certificates, or their expertise, or the skills acquired in this school? Or is it that not much of technical skills was acquired in this College of Technical? Because, when we talk about innovations, when we talk about science and all that, when we talk about industrializations, the large chunk of these people, the population, should come from technical schools. But, the story is different today.
okay, the story is not entirely different. I think this is the time we've been, making some form of adjustments, some form of changes to. I think it had now dawned on us, not only in the continent of Africa, everywhere, that look, these people are one. They are the largest employer of labor because most of them operate within the informal sector.
Yes.
And each person, whenever they are established, have a way of employing 2 to 3 or to 5 persons within their space. And that's in a very, very small scale also. And if they are able to do that, and we're talking about millions of people who have this technical capacity to the extent that they've developed or upskilled to a specific level, they can employ between 3 and 5 people. And you have a few millions of them in operation in a country. You know that they are absorbing a lot of the population, of the workforce, or of the unemployed, who themselves are going through mentorship, apprenticeship, and have the potential for themselves to, set up their own independent private enterprise for them to run their own. So you could see that they are very, very critical to the development of the state. In those days, like the question I was asking him, if you're going for bread making? Because probably in the secondary school you're being taught home economics, and
Yes.
you're thinking about setting up probably a booker by the roadside. Maybe you know how to cook. For those of our people within Nigeria that came from the Akwa Ibom area, the Cross River, Calabar area, that all the southeastern part of the country, the southern part of the country, and including the southwestern part of the country, not forgetting the northern part of the country. You see, wherever you have a large crowd or large business districts, you don't only see the big eateries with their names here and there. You also see this roadside restaurant called Booker Cafeteria, and you see that they are not people that you can easily push out of the business.
Yes,
and
okay.
these people, some of them went to catering school, others did not. They were homemade. Now, I think I'm told that Alabi Bankole Michael is back. Are you there? Can you hear me clearly?
I'm here. Thank you.
You're very much welcome. So we were looking at the deficiency of what it used to be in those days and currently the way it is now. But let's come down to this current age. Let's go to manufacturing. You are a technician when it comes to engineering. How did you find yourself in this space? And you've been in it for more than a decade. How did you find yourself in this? What motivated you into this place? Is it the money you're going to make for yourself, or is it the passion, the love that you have for engineering or technical education on that aspect?
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. It's not the money, honestly. It's not the money that motivated me to actually go into this field. It was my passion. And then to provide solution for humanity. That was actually led me to that. I think I could remember for a very long time, if I'm not mistaken, there was a time that I was traveling, and then it has been my experience. Anytime I'm inside a commercial vehicle box, I see some cars that normally break down on the road, maybe due to poor connection and engine fault and all that. I've been curious. I normally ask that, what is going on? What is the matter with the cars and all that? They do explain to me. So that this has been in my mind for a very long time, that I want to be a solution to humanity. That was the first drive. That, why will people be facing this kind of challenges all the time? Almost every time that I travel, there was always a car breaking down on the road and all that. So I'm like, okay, that was actually drive me. That instead of people to be encountering this kind of problem all the time, if in my own way, if I can be a solution to people by solving this kind of problem, educating people more on what to do, what they need to check before they embark on a journey, I think I will be doing well for my own nation, for humanity. If I can, that's what actually drives me. I did not just stop there. I went to meet someone that I think that is doing well, that I know much about this. So, I collide with the person. I discuss with the person that, okay, if I want to get, acquainted with this, and then what do I need to do? How will I go about it? So that's when I started learning diagnosis, how to diagnose vehicle, all the faults and all that. So I learned that, and I was like, and so far so good. God helped me that I was able to get myself familiar with some of the problem, and to some extent to my own capacity, I think I was able to be a solution to humanity in that aspect. Educating people, telling people what to do and what they ought not to do when they are. And it's not the money that actually drive me. It was my love. It was love, and then my passion that actually led me to that, because I really want to be a solution. I believe in what I can do with my hand. I believe so much in that. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now that you have been working in by virtue of that, you went for apprenticeship or for mentorship. How long did you learn it, and for how long did you now become independent, carrying out doing this as a job, as a profession?
Thank you very much, sir. I think learning basically to get yourself familiar with what you need to know, I think it shouldn't take you more than 4 years. I think comparing it to tertiary, and higher tertiary education, like the minimum of 4 years. If you are you are the one
Was it 4 years you
grab.
spent learning it? Was it 4 years you spent?
And the year that I spent in total is just 4 years. But there are years that I used in serving the somebody that I learned the skill from. But the year that I actually used to learn the work was 4 years. It was 4 years.
Okay. So now, put yourself side by side with some of these students who went to the university to study engineering. Have you met some of them? How can you assess their capacity and their capabilities in delivering? Do you think how can you assess their capacity? Do you think you do a lot better than them when it comes to the theoretical or the practical aspect? Where does their strength lie? Where does your strength lie?
Yes, of course. When we find ourselves in the field of engineering, facing real problem,
Yes.
To tackle it, I think with from my own assessment, I do better than them, because what they really exposed to in the university they went to is only the theory aspect. They do feel of the practical, and in the world that we find ourselves today is the practical. If you tell somebody that you are this, they want to see you doing it. They want to see how good you are at it. I think for some, I think I have like 3 or 4 of my customers that happen to be engineer. That's what they study in school, but they could not handle their cars. They couldn't fix it. They have to consult me that so this thing is happening to their car. How should they go about it? And I was wondering that after all, this is what you study. So majority of them, I was being told that they only learn the theory aspect. That when they come to practical aspect, they're like, this is not really necessary. I think, but the only aspect I think that's a little bit deficiencies for me as I speak, is the theory aspect. And it's not really, the gap is not really much, because there are many things I can read on my own. I have archive of all the modern car the latest car, in which I can quickly go there and read, download whatever I did, then I read on my own without me consulting anybody, because I have the practical knowledge about it. So what I just need to know is to familiarize myself with the names of one of those parts. So once I get myself familiarized with those parts, I don't have any problem in fixing it. So, but they know the parts by name, but they don't know where it's being located and how to carry on how to carry on, how to solve whatever the problem is. How to solve whatever the problem. I think to some extent I'm better than them, because I was exposed to the practical aspects, not only the theory aspect. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Now, you have mentioned quite a few or a lot of people. Now, so in your own mentoring experience, what common deficiencies, do you see in young technicians training and preparations, of course, for industry, demand or challenges?
Thank you very much, sir. One thing that I consider as a deficient is that is an inability of some of those that have mentored to actually interpret the code. One thing is for you.
Oh, not again. Okay. So,
Network.
this is a practical part of technical education and the university education, and to some extent, I won't say like I've had. Okay, he's back. Alabi Bankole is back. Please continue with your line of thought.
Okay, what I was saying is that I discovered that majority of those that have mentors,
No. Okay, so I met a student who studied computer engineering in school, and this is quite a decade and a half ago, if not more. He studied computer engineering in school, and after he graduated, he was busy working in the former firms I used to work. And we started interacting, and he told me his story. He spent 5 years in the university studying computer engineering in school. Okay, Alabi is back again. I'm going to find a way to finish my story. Welcome back, Alabi. Please continue with your line of thought. Bankole, are you there? Okay, so let me continue. And when I engaged in an interaction with him, he told me after he was done spending 5 years in university studying computer engineering, he came down to Lagos and went straight to Computer Village to intern or to serve some of those engineers there for 2 years. He had to learn 2 years in Computer Village, the practical aspect,
Yes,
before he started working, because he told me vividly that, look, you will be told that these are some of the chips, some of the microchips, and some of the parts that you have in the system that he saw it physically, he cannot identify it. So he went through training for 2 years here in Computer Village. So I can relate very well with what Alabi Bankole is saying. Welcome back. Are you there?
Thank you very much.
Yes,
As I
please
was
continue
saying,
with your line of thought. Yes.
there goes the network.
No.
So I think basically what he experienced was lack of practical knowledge while
Yes.
in the university. For instance, when I went to school, we had a studio, a media studio, where we go and, we do some recordings. We had a radio station. So I got into that
The practical
aspect when I was in school, before leaving school. So I was fully aware. So when I got into a media organization, when I got into a media house, the instruments, what do you call it?
the console.
The console was
for
not-
radio. It's not new to
It was
you.
not new. The microphone was not new. I was not camera shy. I was not this. I was used and accustomed to all that. So I think that's one of the things that we lack here, in Africa. We need to improve. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask him, that how can the government step in this time around, to equip our technical schools, our colleges of tech, how to equip it, and also the private sector and the public societal perception of technical careers.
Yeah.
Sometimes they play a role in discouraging people, because when you hear someone is a technician, you want to.
You think it belongs to the lower rung in
But
society.
I've met some technicians that are actually well educated. I've met the electrician in my area. He's well educated. He is well educated. And I like the fact that he would tell you certain things, and you will know that it's only someone who is well educated that can actually tell you this certain, information and all that. So it's one of the things that I think the government needs to do. They need to also try to make sure that the technical colleges are well equipped. You don't just enter the 4 walls. I mean, during my NYSC, I met someone similar to, but her own was different. She studied computer science, but she never operated a computer before. In fact, it was the days of the BlackBerry. She couldn't even operate a smartphone. It's quite fun, and you will wonder, so what did she learn while in school? I don't even want to mention the name of the school in the East that she attended. So it's quite interesting, but concerning that a lot of students graduate every year with no idea. I think that was the essence for industrial training that you do in your second year and your third year while running your program. You are being assigned to a particular organization and industry, basically an industry where you will get hands-on experience. That's the essence of industrial training. So I think we need to go more than that. Schools need to be well equipped.
Okay, so if Alabi Bankole is still there, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you.
Yes, as we wrap up. Go on.
Okay. I think I've able to express that the challenge is the inability of some that have mentored so far to actually interpret the code, because there are some times that there's some terminology that is being used in diagnosis a vehicle and all that might not be you might not really familiarize yourself with some of the terms, because they are technical terms. So I have to break it down for them to understand that what this thing is actually talking about. It's not something that cannot be worked upon. It's not something that you cannot understand, but it's just using another term. So I try to bring it down to their to the layman language, that this is what is actually means. And so far so good. They also have been able to relate with that, and they have moved on with their life also.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alabi Bankole Michael. We would have loved to continue this conversation, but Time is up and we need to go. I want to say a very big thank you for joining us on the program. It's been a delight speaking with you on Just Africa.
Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Hustle.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Alabi Bankole Michael is an auto electrical engineer, educator, and passionate advocate for technical skills development in Africa. His work focuses on bridging the gap between classroom learning and real-world application through practical training. It's been a great moment. We look forward to having you next time again on the program.
Thank you so much. It's also going to be my pleasure also to join you here again anytime I have the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much. Now, in like just your case that you mentioned, mass communication. I didn't study mass communication in school. Whilst I was in the the Faculty of Administration, the Department of Public Administration, I didn't stop frequenting the university radio station there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I spent 2 years. 2 years there working all around media in the school. So I'm not surprised on what I'm doing today. So technical skills, industry experts, organizations must pay attention. They have their own role to play, both government-owned, privately owned organizations. Many of these students coming to take CWES or to do IT in organizations. Open your arms wide, the doors of your organization to bring them, to train them within the 6-month period, the 8-month period, or the 9-month period where they need to come for that industrial training. Because in so doing, you will be enhancing and building the capacity of these youngsters who, when they leave the 4 walls of the university, they come into the society, it will not be strange for them when they go into these organizations to go to work.
Well, you know, we always talk about we want local industries to thrive. We want different manufacturing companies to come up, but we do not seem to have them. Most of the time, it's another country. Yes, we know it's China that comes in, establish. They bring in their own technicians, and once they leave, there's no skill transfer. They go with that knowledge. They go with every other thing. We have the human capital, but what is the problem? We do not have the technical skills, the technical workforce. And until we start to address that, you know, we would see lesser manufacturing or other companies that should be producing what we import. We import a whole lot of things, but because we do not have a lot of technicians. I mean, I remember when Dangote Refinery came in, there was this back and forth that he was employing in expatriates, foreign technicians,
India,
and all that. And he came out to say they are not readily available in the country. So I think one of the ways we can do it is equip the schools. Also, just like you mentioned, CWES, industrial training, students should see it as a time of learning, because this also goes to the workforce, yes, the youth population, see it as a time of learning. One of the things that helped me, you know, gain a smooth transition into the workforce, because I started working while in school. So whatever organization I found myself, I was already accustomed to certain things in that, or in any organization I found myself in.
Okay. And this is where we draw the curtain on the program. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at SOUQ News TV.